Hi, I'm Dana, and it's time for this week's question. It comes from Jessica, and she writes, my 11-month-old daughter has been thriving on the Sleep Sense program for 4 months now and is doing excellent. But my husband and I are considering going away for a weekend. I am unsure if anyone else is going to be able to put her to bed the same way. Is there anything we can do to prepare? Well, that's a good question, Jessica. I always suggest when people are starting the Sleep Sense program that they really clear their schedules for about 2 weeks. Try to be home for naps, try to be home for bedtime. Make sure that everything's really consistent so that you've laid a really good foundation for your child, and then you can start experimenting with some variables. Again, on the other side of that, I always encourage parents to not be too rigid, because if you're always home, always putting them down in the crib, it's always you, then 6 months down the road you might find that when you do try to introduce someone new, your child's not having any part of that. So, you want to be a bit flexible in there as well. So I think you've had enough time. She's been doing great for 4 months, that you have a really good foundation, so it's going to be fine to go ahead and try a weekend away. Or even, let her nap at somebody else's house, or whatever the case might be. I would just outline what you do. So if it's a sitter or it's grandma that's taking over, you have her schedule outlined as far as when are nap times and when is bedtime, and what you do, to lead up to that, what's the routine, and that you just, your expectations should be the same for her, even with grandma or the babysitter. And normally children do really well when it's a sitter or somebody that's not the primary caregiver. That she's not going to know how to read that person as well as she can you. So my guess is she's not going to put up a big fuss for the sitter or whoever's taking over. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. And it's a good idea to prepare the sitter for what ifs. So if, for example, the sitter put her down and she started to cry, what would you like the sitter to do in that case? And again, I think it's better to just follow with the norm. So if she were to cry a bit on a night when you were home, my guess is you probably just leave her for 5 or 10 minutes to see what happens. Go in, remind her it's sleepy time, give her a pat or two and leave the room again, and sort of do that strategy. So if that were the case, that would be a good thing to at least arm your sitter with, so she knows what to do. But again, like I said, I think you'll find it goes fine, and things tend to go better for the sitter. You can, depending on how old she is, she's only 11 months old, so you might want to experiment with a sitter just one night before you go away for an entire weekend, just to get her used to the idea that somebody else is capable of putting her down. Even between parents, I always encourage parents to take turns, because you do want your child to know that the rules are the rules no matter who does this. And then I find that can transition into other people a little easier than if it's always mom and now you're introducing someone new. So my best advice would be to experiment with just a sitter over one night or two before you go away, and then go away. And the great news in all of this is when you have a child who sleeps well, you can go away with peace, because as long as that person follows your schedule and does the things that you do, they're going to have a good time with your child, and your child's also going to get all the sleep that she needs. So, I always say to people, it's very freeing to know that your child sleeps well for anyone, and so you can enjoy your weekend away. Thanks a lot for your question. Sleep well.